The cell arrays
All
from
cells,
What? Ah. Tell me.
all cells arise
array-
from pre-existing cells by cell division.
Yeah.
All cells have the same chemical composition.
Yeah, all the cells having same chemical composition. Now, so that is which page number can you able to say?
Sir,
106.
106, correct? So now let us discuss
Yes,
that.
sir.
You can see here. So what they are saying that all the living organisms are made up of cells. That is already it is there in this point. Correct or not? Yes.
Yes, sir.
All cells is the structure and functional unit of living organisms is what here you can see. So every basic unit of the cells are the basic unit of every living organism, and they are the structure of every living organism, and they are the function of every living organism.
Every living organism.
All the cells arises from pre-existing cells by cell division. This is why I am not saying means this we will study at the end of the chapter. That is means every cell is made up of by a well-developed cell. Means the cell will be a well-developed cell will be with the help of cell division. It will be separating into two cells, and these two cells will be grown up as an individual, and again it will be separating into two individual cells like this. This is called as
Not and mother cell, sir.
yeah. This is called as cell division. So this will separate as a study as a separate concept. That is why I am not saying you. Do you understand? So cell theory
Okay,
of organisms. So cell theory will state that a simple statement we can say. And last one, what all the cells have same chemical composition. Actually, this point is wrong. But actually, cell theory will says that every cells are made up of a same chemical composition. So chemical composition is same, but some components are varies. Is it yes or no? Plant cell contains something. An animal cell contains something. That will study the difference between plants and animal cell. So that is why these 2 points, cell division and chemical composition, I am not discussing now. Now only I am saying, understanding 3 things regarding cell theory. What is that cell theory states that? Cell theory states that they are the basic
Cell theory states that the basic unit of structure and functional
living organism, as well as they are the structure and function of the organisms. That is what we should call it as cells. Correct or not? So this is what we can say.
Yes, sir.
Cell theory of organism. Cell theory of organism will states that the basic unit of structure and function of all living organisms is what? Is the cells only. Understanding, Ra?
Cells.
These cells are arising from where? This is the main definition. Do you understand, Ra? This is the main.
Yes, sir.
That is what you should remember. Now, like what we are saying, cell division. So the cell arises from the cells which are already existed. They will be again going into division. So further division. That is what we can say that cell division. So that point you should remember. So all the cells arise from where it will arise, Ra? All the cells will arise from pre-existing cells.
another cell.
All cells arises from pre-existing cells. Pre-existing cells of cells by what, Ra? By which process? Pre-existing cells by what? By cell division. That is the thing you should remember. Okay. So this is what the cell theory will say. That now let us discuss. So this cell, understanding the cells have been present in the where are they present? Where they are present? These cells are present where?
Body, sir.
Human body and plant body, sir.
What? Everything. That is what we can together we can call it as a name. Both the plants and animals called as what?
Organisms.
Organelles. Correct or not? The organisms. So every organism.
Living organisms.
You can take plants and animals. Everything if you take. So these cells are present where? Inside these organisms. Correct or not? Organelles.
Yes, sir.
Organelles means what? Small structures which contains inside the cell is called as organelles.
Organelles.
But organisms means the full bodies like plants and animals. So these cells have been present in living organisms, means like plants and animals, since because of Vaira, because they are the origin of life. Correct or not? So
Yes, sir.
cells are the origin of life. origin of life means every body, every living organism will develop from single cell only. Correct or not? Single cell will become cell
Yes, sir.
two cells, two will become four, four will become like multiple.
Six.
What we can say? Six not. Four will become eight, double. Understanding every time. Eight will become 16. Understanding? Eight will become 16. Double. Eight cells.
12. 12.
Eight, 12 or
Sir,
16.
can cell divide into 3, sir, or only 2?
Every cell two only. So one cell, pre-existing cell, will become into two. Understanding? Next, these two cells will be again further dividing into what? Another two. Understanding? Like that, the cell division will take place. Do you understanding, Shruti? Not eight.
Yes, sir.
Again, this cell will be separating into two, and this cell will be again into two.
It is like our family tree, sir.
Millions of cells will form. That is why I can say, understanding? So cells are the what? Origin of life. Cells are the origin of life. So
Original.
any organism will begins with a cell only. So the cells were, however, not studied or observed for thousands of years. Not, it is just observed. Even you may see that 1838, 1890, even 1900s also we have studied the structure of cells. Means before and all thousands of years humans are existed, living organs are existed, but we don't know. Only in 1600, that is also whom Robert Hooke has been studied first time the cells. Correct or not? Yes or no? That is also a dead plant cork. Understand? So it is not studied or observed for thousands of years because most of them are extremely what? Most of them are, sir, extremely what they are? Small, and they cannot be seen with a naked eye. That is the main reason. So we don't have any kind of microscopes or anything in the past years. So that is why it has been not studied. Understanding? So cell structure, cells are not studied or observed millions, understanding, thousands of years. Because why? Because they are extremely small. Because
Small.
they are extremely small. And is it possible to see with the naked eye? And
No, sir.
not possible. What is the meaning of naked eye? Not possible to see.
Sir, with our eyes, sir.
Yeah, with the naked eye. Naked eye means directly. That is why. So that is why it has been not studied from thousands of years, because by that time there is no kind of magnifying glasses or any kind of microscopes and all. So
Microscopes.
understand? So it was only when microscopes have high magnification power were made in the 17th century. So 17th century, they have been made high power magnifying glasses, means microscopes. So understanding from there, that understanding in that 17th century, the magnify things greatly, and that cells could be seen in living organisms. So before that, there is no kind of powerful magnifying glasses, magnifying microscopes. So we're unable to magnify them, and we're unable to study the cell structure. So that is why it has been not studied thousands of years, because we cannot see with the naked eye. So in 17th century, they made what? High magnification power, understanding, microscopes with the which century? 17th century. Understanding, 17th century, they have been made what? High
Microscope.
understanding, high magnification
Microscopes.
magnification power, understanding, powerful microscopes, even
Microscope.
also later microscopes, which will useful to study what? Inside the cell, understanding, inside the cell structures. So that is
Cell
why
structures.
we are unable to study before thousands of years. So later only, understand. So we are able to see we could be seen in living organisms. This greatly because of this magnifying microscopes. They will magnify the things very, very extremely, very greatly, so that the cells could be seen in living organisms. So present these days, if we'll consider, microscopes can even enables us to see the objects as small as, understanding, like in the sense of 1 millionth of meter, means in the sense of 10 power minus 6 meters also we can able to see, means like a microscope, coronavirus and all, 10 power minus 6 meters means 1 millionth of meter, 1 by, understanding, 1 by 10 power 6 means 10 power 6 means how much, Ra? 10 power 6.
10 per
10 power 6 means how much? How much? 1 lakh and 10 lakh. 10 power 6. 10 lakh.
10 lakh.
Understanding? So that was smaller also we are able to see now because of highly developed microscopes. So these microscopes only, they are allow us to greatly, they are allow us to zoom the objects very greatly, and we are able to see even as small as 1 millionth of a meter, means 10 power minus 6, 1 millionth of a meter, 1 millionth of a meter. So means in the sense of what, Ra? 1 by 10 lakh. So 1 by 10 power minus 6 meters also we are able to see. Now at present we have, even we can able to see 10 power minus meters also. This is only called as nanometers. What we should call?
Nanometers.
So this is called as, understanding, this is called as micrometers. What we should call?
Micrometer.
Micrometer. 10 power minus 6 is micrometer. 10 power minus 9 is nanometer. Understanding, ready? Nanometers. Even nanotechnology also
Yes,
has
sir.
been invented, and we are able to see the things even much even smaller also we are able to see highly greatly magnified objects. So that is why, understand, so such a high magnified power microscopes have helped the scientist to study the, understanding, clear details of the cell, like in the sense of minute to minute, every minute how the cell is functioning, what is happening inside. So that is everything. It is helping the scientists to study the minute details of cells. So that is what we are able to study now, how the cells are present inside the plants, inside the animals, what is the functions, how everything present, everything we are going to study because of Humra, because of magnifying power microscopes, because of only what? Magnifying
Power microscope.
magnifying power microscopes. Power microscopes. So this is all about who has been discovered. So totally 3 scientist names you have to be there. Remember, what is the scientist names totally?
Robert Hooke.
The man who has been
Swan.
discovered the structure of the cell.
Swan.
That is Robert Hooke in
Swan.
1905. Later in
Matthew Skeleton.
Skeleton, German scientist, understanding Skeleton, he has been said that
Skeleton.
made up of cells. Later, one more scientist name called as Swan.
Schwann, he said animals also is made up of cells.
Animals also made up of cells only. So one more scientist textbook. What is the Dutch scientist? Dutch scientist. So Dutch scientist called as what? Name called as Dutch scientist. What is his name? He is also studied a cell structure, correct? Cells.
Yes, sir.
So cell structures he has been studied. You have to remember that name. So next, if it comes to the, so because of these fellows' observations, we have made a common theory called as what? Cell theory of organism. Cell theory of organism. So
Organism.
theory will states that basic unit of structure and function of all the living organisms is made up of what? Basic unit of structure and function of all the living organisms is made up of cells only. And these cells are produced from where? These cells are arised from pre-existing cells by cell division. Pre-existing cells by cell division. Do you
Cell
understand?
division.
So that is
Yes,
why these cells are made up of, all the organisms are made up of these cells, means all the plants and the animals. So that is why we can say cells are the what? Origin of life. Origin of life. So the cell contains small tiny structures. The cell contains small tiny structures. What we should call them? What we should call them?
Organelles.
Organelles. Understanding?
Organelles.
N-E-L-L-E-S. Organelles. That is what it is. So every organism, plant and animal is made up of cells only. So these cells are developed by pre-existed cells. Understanding? By cell division. So that
Cell
is
division.
later it has been understanding. So many observations why we are unable to study thousands of years regarding the cells and the structures of cells means because of we don't have a powerful microscopes during that time. So later in the 17th century there have been developed extremely powerful microscopes because we cannot see the cells with our naked eye. So with the cells, even we can, with that microscopes we can able to see what even 1 millionth of meter means even 10 power minus 6. 10 power minus 6, how I can write? 10 power minus 6, how I can write? 1 by 10.
1 by
1 by 10 lakh. Do you know this or not? Can I teach you this? How you can write? Do you know or don't know? If you don't know, I will teach. If you know,
we know, sir.
you know?
Yes, sir.
See, mathematics. 1 by 10, how I can write? 10 power minus 1.
10 minus 1. 10
One-
power minus 1.
How I can write? I have already taught you in the beginning of
10.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This course you have taught, sir.
10 minus 2.
Bridge course I have taught you. Have you remember already? Bridge courses.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, 1 by 1000. I can write as what? 1 by 10 power
10
by 1000. 10 power minus
Minus
6. Like that. 10 power minus 6. How I can write? 1 by 10 lakh. Correct or not?
10 lakh.
That is.
Yes, sir.
So this already I have taught you in bridge course. Do you remember already? That is. That is what we can
Yes, sir.
the magnifying, because of magnifying power of glass microscopes, we are able to study at present, we are able to study the complete structure of cell and what the small tiny structures of cells called as organelles, how they are present, what is their functions, everything we are going to study. So now that is why we will study now what is cells and how it is present, everything. So because of, see, every plant, every organism is made up of cells only. That is why I can say cells are what? Cells are the building blocks of plants and animals. Correct or not? Building blocks means each and every cell will join together. That is only it is forming the organism. Correct or not? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
That is why
Yes, sir.
cells are the what? They are the basic unit of life, or else they are the origin of life. Correct or not? Yes or
Yes,
no?
sir.
That is. So please
Yes, sir.
keep heading. Cell. Side heading. Cells are cell. Okay. So now let us discuss what is this cell. So cells are cell. As we know that what are cell? What is meaning of cell? Tell me. Cells are the
Sir, cell is the
life. Understanding? Cells are the basic unit of
basic unit of life.
are the
And they also called as building blocks of life, sir.
yes, basic units of life. So or else I can say they are the origin of life. Correct or not? Origin of life.
Yes, sir.
All the living things like plants and animals are made up of what? Made from cells only. All the living units of life, all the living things. Living things means what? Plants and
Animals.
Animals.
animals made up of cells only. So that is why we can,
Cells.
cells are what? Made up of
Basic unit of life.
Why? Understanding. Like for example, you can say your house is constructed with a single brick or multiple bricks. Like
Multiple
Bricks.
brick and all. Correct or not? So one brick after one brick, if you are arranging, then only it is called as one wall, or we can say one of the cell. Correct or not? One structure. Correct or not? So wall
Yes,
is,
sir.
take any wall, it is containing hundreds of bricks. Correct or not? So every brick is considered as a what? We can say every brick is considered a what?
Cell.
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 Understanding? Like how our house is made up of thousands of bricks has been arranged one after one. The living organism also, like it is made up of what? Made up of cell. That is why we can say the cells are the building blocks of plants and building blocks
Animals.
of animals. Building
Plants
blocks
and animals.
plants and animals. Please note it down. Like our house, Every living organism, like house means a water, bricks, correct or not? So bricks, how we are
Yes,
arranged,
sir.
like our
Yes,
house,
sir.
how we are making bricks, understanding? Like our house made up of bricks. Same way, every living organism made up of what?
Cells.
Every living organism
Are made up of
made up of
cells. Cells.
thus cells are the what?
Thus,
Cells
the building blocks of the life.
building blocks of plants and animals. Plants and animals. Do you understand? Yes or no? That is. So,
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
for example,
Yes,
if you take a baby, for example, you people, Johan or Reddy or Shruti, you can take. You people are also made up of hundreds, millions of cells. Will you accept it? Millions of cells, correct?
In one body, how many maximum cells? How many will be there,
I
sir?
can say that depend upon the body. It is,
Sir.
do you understand?
Sir, now also a cell
Yes,
is
sir.
dividing.
Yes, sir. Per day, millions of cells will die, millions of cells will produce. Understand, Shruti?
Yes,
If
sir.
there is no cell division, then your
Okay.
body cannot grow. Is your body is growing or not? Every year you have some change till certain years, correct? After that, then
Yes, sir.
cell division will be there. But hundreds of cells will die, hundreds of cells will produce every day. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
That is.
Yes, sir.
If you take a baby, suppose Tamil Nadu is famous for banana. Banana is one of the most famous fruit in Tamil Nadu, correct? Let me take banana tree. Or else if you take banyan tree. Or else you take any kind of a small bacteria. Everything looks very different from one another, correct or not? Everything looks
Yes, sir.
different or not?
Yes,
Is
sir.
it banana tree and baby, you and me, is it similar? Even though we both are humans, then we are not look similar, correct or not? So
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
people consider plant or animal doesn't matter. Everything, even microorganisms, bacteria, virus, everything, they looks very different from. They looks very different from one another.
Each other.
They all are made up of what? They all are made up of.
Made up of cells.
Do you understanding all of you? So if you
Yes, sir.
take a baby, understanding. Next, banana tree, etc. Everything looks what? Everything looks different.
Different.
Understanding? Everything looks different, but everything made up of what?
Cells.
Everything made up of cells only. So it may be a plant cell, it may be a animal cell, or it may be some other thing. Correct or not? That is what you should do.
Yes, sir.
Suppose if you take our nose you take, our skin you take, our muscles you take, our hair you take, our head you take, or is whatever, our chest you take, whatever it is, our bones, everything is made up of what? Our blood, our everything, every organism in our body, our heart, our lungs, everything is made up of what? All are made up of
Cells.
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 You understand it? And if you take
Yes,
the
sir.
simplest organism, see, our nose alone having millions of cells, our hands alone having millions of cells. So that is why we can say multicellular organisms. What we can say, humans are the
Multicellular organism.
or else we can say complex organisms. What we should call? Complex organisms.
Complex organism.
In our nature, if you'll observe, we have, which they are used to live in water, like paramecium and amoeba and all. They used to contain only a simplest organism, which we used to call it as what? A simplest organisms. Only amoeba.
They are
How many cells? One cell. If you take
only
amoeba,
one cell.
understand? If you take amoeba,
They are called as unicellular organism.
AMEBO, amoeba, if you take. So amoeba is made up of how many cells? Amoeba is made up of
A
how many?
single cell, sir.
Single cell.
Sir, spelling of amoeba is wrong, sir.
AMOEBA.
AMOEBA, sir.
AMOEBA. Okay.
EBA.
Amoeba, if you take, it is called as a simplest cellular organism, which contains only how many cells? A simplest organism.
One cell.
Contains only one cell. But if you take like ours, complex organism, that is why it is called as simplest organism. Simplest organism.
But how they live? So if one day our division stop, we will die, no, sir.
Which one?
Amoeba, like with a one single cell.
There is no division. They only contain single cell. Nothing will be there. Do you understand?
Sir, the cell will not die.
The cell will die. Again, it will be, see, it will be separating into again separately. Maybe fission will take place. Do you understanding? So the cell division will take place, but it will be forming into again individual cells only. They will live uniquely, not depending on each other. Do you understand? That
Yes,
is.
sir.
So amoeba, I will show you the live amoeba also. Till now, nobody has shown you, correct? I will show you. So this amoeba is only made up of single cell. That is why we can call them as unicellular organisms, or we can say just simply what? Simplest organisms. Unicellular organisms. Even paramecium also.
Organism.
Organisms. Even class 10 will study nutrition and respiration.
Sir, fungus.
A fungus
Sir,
also.
fungus.
Fungus is made up of millions of cells. Understand? So if you take here amoeba, even in class 10th we'll study what is the food, means like in the sense of respiration in amoeba and digestion in amoeba. Everything we'll study very, very clearly. So now, like
If we zoom the coronavirus, there will be cells, sir.
so inside a virus is made up of inside so many millions of cells. Complex.
Corona.
Yes. Complex organisms. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Corona is also, virus is also made up of hundreds of cells. Okay. So let us take complex organisms.
Humans, plants, animals,
Human, understanding, and
virus.
animals, understanding animals like lion, dog, etc. Everything is made up of not even millions, trillions of cells. Even our nose alone having millions of cells. We cannot say, depend upon the size of the body. So the number of cells will made up of. So that is why we can say these all the bodies we used to call it as trillions of cells. These are made up of what? Trillions of cells.
Sir, human beings are made up of 100 million of cells. They gave, sir.
Because suppose you see somebody is having very body is big in size, then what we can say? So averagely we can say, that's why we can say every body is made up of what? Hundreds of millions of cells. So that is this kind of organisms used to called as what? Complex organisms, or we can say multicellular organisms. What we should call?
Multicellular organisms.
So this is all about it. So from here we'll continue in the next class. So with this I will stop. So thank you all of you.
Thank
Sir,
you,
like
sir.
if the growth of a man stops, then the cells divide, no, sir.
Yeah.
Like some disease.